All right, we are back. Welcome to another live feed reads. That is the podcast of Reed and Reed, attorneys in let's see, Brandon, Florida. Welcome. We do this every Friday at 1 p.m. and here we are again. And today we have none other than Ryan Reed with us. Ryan, how you doing, man?
I'm doing just swell, thanks.
Good, good. Paul is out living the dream. I think he's happy. The kids are kind of you guys are each kind of finding your own way and doing your own thing, and he's out, just making his way around the world and helping you guys out wherever you can. You guys have done a great job.
Well, thank you. You always say
Yeah,
that. I always say thank you.
it's
But
true.
yeah, I mean, off screen, we were having a good conversation about what you
Yeah.
got going on today. I guess you got a big debate up in Tallahassee that you've been preparing for up since 4 a.m., ready to go fight the good fight on behalf of the American, well, more specifically, Floridian children.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
excited for that?
I am. I haven't been able to sleep since like 4 a.m., but it's an interesting homeschool community down south in Miami. And they were going to have a live conference, but then they decided to do it virtual, kind of open it up to beyond Florida.
Hmm.
So I kind of, as the lobbyist in Florida for home education rights, I kind of stay, I guess I'm the guy who brings it's all about Florida part to the conference where everybody else talks about homeschooling from like a bigger picture. But yeah, for me here, it's the free state of Florida or nothing. And ever since,
Hmm.
I guess, July 4th, I was reading back through the Declaration of Independence and, declaring the states or the
Jamie,
colonies
pull that
and
up for us. Pull up the Declaration of Independence.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Pull it there,
What are you
yeah.
saying?
Yeah. They're the declaration of them as independent, free to do their own commerce and self-govern. And I think that's the kind of culture of homeschoolers deep
Hmm.
down is it's the DIY of education, self-governance, self-education. Um, and I think it's
It's an
important.
education prepper.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
Just a joke.
yeah, yeah. It's all good. No, it's interesting. It'll be a fun panel. It'll be a good time. I'm gonna have some workshops and then there'll be some like debate and stuff that we do later where we'll talk about the scholarship. But I was also watching the Social Dilemma. I don't know if you're familiar with that documentary.
Yeah, yeah. I saw. I mean, I saw when it first came out, so I don't have. That's my problem nowadays. I feel
Mm,
like with learning, I guess would be the word, because back, when you're in high school, college, you learn differently in the sense that, that's really all your responsibility is,
hmm
for the most part. Obviously some people have a job. I was fortunate enough to not have to work through college, so I could devote my full attentions to the studies. But you're sitting there, you're reading, you're highlighting, you're taking notes, you're listening to lectures,
Yeah,
watching documentaries. And so I think the note taking is the real aspect because now, I'm
it's
plopped on
big.
the couch, I'll watch a documentary and retain a not even a tenth maybe of the information.
Mm,
Same thing with, like, I listen to all these great podcasts from all these brilliant minds, and I'm always impressed at how their power of recall is displayed.
yeah.
And it's like I understand everything they're talking about, but then when I go to have a conversation about a documentary I might have listened to this
Uh,
morning, I can't remember hardly anything. And it's like
yeah,
I loved
yeah.
it. I love the information. I wish I had that power of recall, but it's I'm focusing on driving. I've got the distractions, and I'm not
Yeah.
studying. I'm not highlighting. I'm not taking notes. It's I feel bad listening to all these documentaries, absorbing the information, then not being able to recommunicate it.
Well, you raise a good point, or maybe you're not making the point, but you make me think of a good point, which is we're so stinking busy. Like
Hmm.
we're just so pulled in so many directions that you've got to fight the fight in front of you or put out the fire in front of you. There,
Hmm.
other things are burning, other
Hmm.
things are happening. Your kids are growing up every day; they get older. Like your taxes are due, your businesses has obstacles that are looming in the distance, but maybe they're not here
You get
yet. But
this letter from
today,
the government to deal with,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe
or
you
God
ran a
forbid,
red
sorry,
light.
a complaint from Reed and Reed. Sorry.
Yeah, and then you're gonna get like a ticket in 3 weeks or something. Uh, but you've got to stay focused on the thing in front of you, and it's just so hard to figure out
Hmm.
what that is anymore. Especially like with balancing between, what matters now and what will matter 10 years from now. And we're so focused on the now part, just surviving today,
Yeah.
that it makes it much more difficult to think about the other. Like, I in the work that I do with the homeschooling community, some parents that really, really care, and they'll support our work, and then some say they care, but they're like, yeah, but we're almost done. So like we're out. I'm like, yeah, but the education system's going to keep pumping out, new minds that vote and all of these other things for society
Hmm.
after you've graduated yours. So it's kind of I think we owe it to ourselves to continue to care. It's just hard because that's not the fire I have to put out today. Like, I've
Hmm.
got to get kids to soccer practice, or put gas in the car, or the engine light came on, or like whatever the issue is,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah,
takes
that's
over.
keep us. That's part of the plan. Keep us so busy that it's a wonder when you see all these people out. And I'm just subjectively here. When you
Hmm.
see all these people out protesting, it's like I'd like to go show my support, but how the hell am I supposed to do that for all the issues I care about when I'm running a business? When
Hmm.
I have obligations and responsibilities that I own up to. How can I just go spend all day with my little sign out in front of City Hall on a Monday? It's like,
Yeah.
how do these people do that?
Yeah.
That's when are they getting paid? Do they have jobs?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And
That's the
it's a wonder. A lot of this happens over the summer. Who has summers off? I don't know.
Yeah. 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 That's the thing
How
I
do
love
people
about.
subsidize their little income? It's like
Yeah.
just keep
Yeah.
us too busy working and taking care of your family, taking care of you. You don't have time to go fight these battles, which is why I love that you do professionally.
Yeah, well, I have to make the time. I still work. I'd love to say that we're fully supported, but we're not. We're solely supported by the parents who believe in the work that we do, but we're not yet fully supported. I was doing the math the other day because, as a good homeschool dad, um, that's what I do with my kids, is teach them math. And so Aurora is really struggling with percentages,
Hmm.
and I was trying to explain to her, well, you divide by 100, and that gives you 100 individual pieces, and then from there, now you know what one is. You can then multiply and figure out what any percentage of that would be. And so I was, just giving her outside of the ballpark problems, and I was like, well, there's 114,000 home education families in Florida. What would 1% be? And she was like, okay, let's just divide by 100 and get it. So it's like, 1,140. I'm like, yeah. He's like, so we have about 70 to 100 families that donate to what we do. I was like, what is that? And she was like, well, it's about 7% of 1% of
Hmm.
the families. And I was like, yeah,
That's
it's,
a pretty sad statistic, huh? Huh.
yeah, it was. And, it's kind of made me think, I guess what's had me up today is that there's this quote. Heraclitus is a Greek philosopher, kind of just before Socrates and Aristotle and them, and he kind of coined logic. He coined logos in the Greek study, and he said, there's like one out of every 100 men just shouldn't even be there, or no, out of every 100 men, 10 shouldn't be there, and 80 are just targets, 9 are real fighters, and one is a warrior. And but the lady who's been doing the work that I do for the last 40 years has done it without support. Her
Mm.
husband died in the mid 90s, and I guess through a series of investments and friends and different things like that, she's been able to make it. But it's been very apparent to me doing this and going to the different conferences and seeing how people will, say to my face like, "Oh, this is so important. This is so important. Love it." Blah, blah. And then they'll actually literally, the moment I ask for support, I'm like, yeah, we're trying to raise awareness. We're out here. A lot of people don't know we're here, blah, blah, blah. They'll literally, and I've never had this even happen to me in sales when I worked at the kiosks in Brandon, but they'll literally turn their back to me. So I'm looking at the back of their head and they're like, yeah, yeah, that's nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Good
All
Lord.
right. All right. And they'll walk off. And I'm like, wow. It
Yeah,
just,
that's
it
nuts.
blows my mind because they don't realize that the true fight, like for the minds of our youth, the real fight that it is,
Yeah,
and
for 100
TikTok
years
is
now.
winning.
Yeah,
It's not even the school system that's the issue. The
which is
TikTok is
horrible.
winning.
Which is
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah, yeah. So
But yeah,
we're
they don't even
just
need that anymore.
pulled.
All they need to
Yeah,
do is get the little free phones into everyone's hands. Even if you
Mm-hmm.
can't, even if your parents don't buy you an iPhone to shut you up, they're going to hand you a free one from the government, and boom, you're attached.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
those little that red notification dot, man. Like I've got some
and
pretty crazy ideas about social media reform because as a marketer, what we were able to do with data is scary.
yeah,
It's
it's insane.
it's terrifying. Yeah.
And at
And
the lower level, imagine at
yeah,
the higher
that's
level.
right. That's right. On the lower level, it's scary. On the
Yeah,
upper level, it's absolutely unethical.
yeah, for sure.
Like, yeah, there's just so much about it. It's just
I
raw
think one
power.
of the problems, back to the low percentage of the homeschooling families that support their own initiative. I think that's
Mm.
kind of one of the hard issues, that the mindset of, I want to be left alone to live my life, build my fortune. I want
Yes.
government out of my hair. Always has had for hundreds of years in this country
Hmm.
is the community organization,
Yep.
because inherently they want to not be a part of this large type of system.
Yep.
And so it's hard to get that support, like
Hmm.
certain other philosophies seem to
Yep.
have easily. It's
Hmm.
like, it's, if you want to be left alone, it's hard to then get all of you together to advocate
That's a
for and
paradox.
support. And it's
Yeah.
been that way since the Constitution. Actually,
Yeah.
one of the funny stories is the original U.S. Constitution, which we all love and support nowadays, had a very hard fight. It passed by a narrow margin, and
Yep.
mainly because all the people that we would consider the conservative Republican mindset didn't show up to the convention
Hmm.
to,
Yeah.
to fight for the even more regulation on government that there could have been back then.
Yeah.
So, it's a really interesting dynamic that the people that don't want government in their lives end up losing because they
Hmm.
don't want to take that energy to organize like the other opposing
Yep.
philosophies do.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. It takes effort. It's painful. Takes sacrifice. Like
I'm trying to use
there's
like
a
the most apolitical
I
terms.
know. I can tell. I can tell.
Lawyers.
But you're right. It's a bit of a paradox. We want to all kind of go our own way and be left alone. This is one of
Yeah,
the conversations I have with people about freedom. Like the very threat to freedom is freedom itself,
yeah,
because it is by its very nature chaos.
yeah.
The ultimate form of freedom. There's no government. There's no rules. It's just me, and I go on
Mhm.
my own way and do my own thing. Period. And so the closer that we get to civilization and civilized society, the more and more rules we have to accept. The more rules we accept, the less
Mhm.
freedom we have.
That's the
So there's
Rousseau's social contract.
yeah, it's the that there's a give and take in all of that, and it's all about massaging the negotiation of where that line should be. And
And
that's
that's a constant battle where it goes.
yes. And so having somebody do that, you guys do that. Your lawyers have lobbying firms that go there and talk about what lawyers need and what's important to y'all, and you have people that speak up. This is why I think lobbyists get a bad rap, because a lot of the stories that you hear are about them throwing money around and buying votes and stuff like that. And
Doing the
it's
live feed read, Jacquelyn. I'll have to call you back. It's Jackie.
hey Jackie.
Hmm.
But ultimately, I mean, for us at least, it's a die on your sword kind of fight.
Yeah.
We're there on principle. We're
Hmm.
in the law and the statutes, and we're like, hey, parents,
Well,
you,
gosh
you,
darn
you
it!
could.
What a great sales pitch. Now I got to donate.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's an interesting thing, but
Not
this is
that
the
it was. I was joking.
Read and Read podcast, so I don't know how we got talking about what I do.
Well, it's interesting to me, and it's important, I think, to society. I mean, the fight for the minds of the next generation is always a battle, and I think
Mm,
that we've been losing for some time. This next generation is going to have a hard go of it, and
hmm.
unless there's pushback and a massive change and overhaul, you know, we're inching closer and closer to that dystopian reality that seems to every decade become more clear.
Well, I gotta say, like I'm pretty inspired by you guys, to be honest with you. Like whenever I had that guy who wanted to sue me for the logo design, and you guys stepped in and took
What a
action.
douchebag.
Yeah, and you stood up for me, the little guy, and that stuff like that sticks with me, and I really appreciate how Paul is very much like, yeah, 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 get to the point. What are we gonna do? And he's so
Mhm.
action oriented. It's a little bullish sometimes, but it's so I appreciate it because it's like, yeah, okay, what are we gonna do about it? What are we gonna do
Yeah.
about it?
Like, I'm already on
And
your side. Move on. What's the
yeah,
action?
yeah,
Like, I don't
yeah,
need
and
the
so
back. I don't need the story. Okay.
when the kind of opportunity came up to do this, I thought, yeah, absolutely. Let's do it because it's one of those things that we can sit around and muse about a problem that we have, or somebody can dive in and roll up their sleeves, and so
Great
that's it.
segue, because I did actually have something to talk about today.
Yes.
Again, a year ago, Backpack Hero event. This has been happening for quite a long time. It's coming up. They changed the venue, doing it a little bit differently this year. So now instead
Okay.
of having, I think there were 2 locations for several years going back, they've combined them to one giant location. So Backpack Hero Day is basically where a couple charities, for instance, Hope for Her and Echo, just to name a few, additionally to Enterprising Latinas and Boricuas de Corazon, are getting together to organize basically a school supply drive for families who need that.
Cool.
Again, the date is August 2nd, so it's rapidly approaching, only a couple
Mm.
weeks, I think. This year, it's at the Hillsborough County Fairgrounds. Now, don't be confused, not the one by the amphitheater. Hillsborough
Okay.
County Fairgrounds are out in Dover, off of Sidney Washer Road, I believe. And so,
Oh.
make that an important change. You don't show up to the fairgrounds that we think of off of I-4. You go to Dover in
Yeah.
East Hillsborough County to the Hillsborough County Fairgrounds, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. I want to say they're asking everyone to register ahead of time, because I think rather than, 5,000 people showing up at one time, they want to try to do slots as best they can to keep it smoothly.
Mm.
Additionally, the Brandon Rotary Club, wonderful guys. We're going to be doing hot dogs, chips, drinks for everybody that comes through. So, depending on what time they start all that, I assume they start in the morning at 9 a.m.
Mm.
Be giving out about 5,000 hot dogs and bags of
Yeah.
chips and drinks, in addition to the fully loaded backpack for the little ones. And
That's
again,
cool.
coincidentally, we did get on this education tangent when we're talking about the charity event directly related
Yeah.
to education. So make sure, if we can, I'll send you a link to it, Jason, if we can maybe post that so
Okay.
people can have it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Or
I can get
and
that
not
in the
just
description.
for the families that need that. Obviously, it's there for you, but also volunteers are always necessary. Donations are
Mm-hmm.
always necessary, or else none of this exists. So
Be the
we're gonna put the
9.
link. If you can get on there and donate or find an hour out of your day to come volunteer, that would be great.
Yeah, cool. Very cool. Yeah, I'll get that in the I'll get that in the either the comments or the description right after. So that'd be good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, it is about that time. We were
Yep.
cooking with gas there for a while.
Yeah.
We should do
It's good.
the off the cuff conversation more about stuff that we're actually interested in.
Yeah. Good chat. Good talk. It's funny because like now at least what we do somewhat overlaps with law.
Exactly. Well,
All right,
I let
man.
my dad handle the law from the FJA magazines and all the cases from the Supreme Court.
Yeah, he loves those.
I got enough law throughout my day. If I'm showing up here, we're talking about what I like to talk about, what you like to talk about.
There you go. Love it. Love it. Oh, speaking of which, I hooked a shark. I went offshore fishing for the
Oh,
first time since I was, I
sweet.
don't know, 10. And
Yeah.
yeah, I hooked a 6 foot shark. We cut it loose. We cut it loose.
When we were
But
talking earlier, I actually was going to make a comment about similar to that when we were talking about how busy we are.
mm,
But yeah, man, I'm sure you'll agree. I mean, you got to have some outlet where you can
unplugged.
shut it out, and fishing, hunting,
Yeah.
sports, gym, whatever the case may be. You
Yes.
got to carve out that, because honestly, the rat race never will end. You have
That's
to
right.
shut it off in order to
Yeah.
give your mind that breathing room and ability to return to grace and kindness
Yeah,
and
man.
the
Yeah.
earth that we live in, that's beautiful. And so yeah,
Yeah.
hunting, fishing, sports, that's where it's at for me anyways.
And good conversation with friends. I think that
Exactly.
helps
Yeah,
sometimes.
the bar
Just
can
to,
be a good thing.
yeah.
It
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
doesn't have to be evil if
That's
you do it
right.
correctly.
It has its moments. All
Yes.
right. Well, thank you for filling in today for Paul. I'm going to take us out of here. Lots of really good things. Live feed Reed. This is Ryan Reed from Reed and Reed. And I'm going to go ahead and roll us out.
All right, have a good weekend, everybody.
Reed and Reed, it's like having a lawyer in the family.